Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Taylor, and I am the advocate of the devil. Normally. But today's episode is a special exception. Today, I'm advocating for you wonderful fans of ours. The benefit of doing a show where I get to voice my opinions and place it on the internet is that there are times that we get suggestions for topics. Sometimes it's in the comments section, sometimes it's in our Discord channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. We here at Devious Advocacy read them all and take them to heart. This one comes from a user by the name of Outcast Necro. He requested that we do an episode in defense of being single, and if there's one thing that I love, it's the sound of my own voice. But if there's a second, it's giving the people what they want. So this one's for you, Outcast. This week, we're going to defend being single. Let me preface this by saying two things right off the bat. People's experiences in both singlehood and being in a couple are going to be unique to the individual. Similar though they can be sometimes, every relationship is different. Every person is different, and their experiences and interpretations, you guessed it, they're all going to be different too.
You are not a beautiful or unique snowflake.
And number two, I am very happily in a relationship, so I can understand if it sounds a bit odd talking about being single, especially when being single is the furthest thing from my own mind. That being said, it wasn't all that long ago where I was, in fact, on my own. A one-man wolf pack, as it were. Out and about, living life for numero uno. Which brings me to my first and probably most obvious point, in favor of being without a significant other.
I'm free! I'm free at last! I'm hitting the road! I'm off to see the world!
The only person you have to worry about is you, which essentially means no rules. If you want to have pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you can go for it. Feel like pulling an all-nighter to play the latest game? Just do it. The benefit to this is that you essentially have free reign over your own life. When you're in a relationship, it's no longer just about your own wants and needs. You need to balance and compromise them with your significant other. The freedom that singlehood offers is large, seemingly boundless. You make your own schedule, you see and do whatever you want, whenever you want, and with whomever you want. And that extends to your naughty bits too. There's nothing wrong with going out and, well, let's just say explore new territory.
You put your dick in a pie.
Enough!
My own personal stance on this is that so long as you are honest with whoever's undergarment areas you wish to be involved with, everything is fine. Consent is a big one here too. But all that mighty freedom does breed, in my mind anyways, one particular thing to keep in mind. Do something with it!
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it! Make your dreams come true!
After all, what's the point in having all that free time and freedom of choice if you aren't going to be taking full advantage of it? I don't mean just boning everything in sight. I mean try new things. I truly believe that everyone out there has a list of all the things that they would love to try, but haven't. Either they're too scared or never made the time, or any of 100 different other excuses. Things like climbing a mountain, traveling to a new country on their own, with no plan and no partner. Just get up, grab a bag, and go. To a lot of people, the idea of being single can be a very lonely prospect, but the reality of the situation is that it doesn't actually have to be. It's not about just cutting out romantic ties and links and all that other stuff. It's about realizing what you truly want to do as an individual, rediscovering yourself. Think about all the things that you are right now. Your friends, your job, your coworkers. Think about other times you've been around them. Now again, I can only speak for myself here, but when I'm around certain people, I have a tendency to act a certain way. Usually I behave the same way as I did when we first met, and just stick with that, with a few adjustments here and there. Being single can be an excellent time to change that if that's what you want to do. New friends, new TV shows, new everything. It's like having an opportunity to hit a reset button on your life to a certain extent and give yourself the chance to do all the things that you wanted to but always made excuses for. It'll also give you an opportunity to see for yourself exactly what you aren't capable of. Let me explain. The last time I was single, it was following a particular event that I won't go into details here. I had been in that relationship for a number of years, and things hadn't been moving forward. We had hit a large snag, and quite frankly, we really weren't good for each other.
Maybe he lost my number, or is out of town, or got hit by a cab.
Or maybe he has no interest in seeing you again.
But that's perfectly fine, and those things kind of happen. But I had been in that relationship for several years, and it got me thinking about the chance that maybe I was missing out on something. So I went out and I partied and I stayed out entirely too long, and I basically just tested all of my limits and tried to see what I wanted. It turns out I didn't like casual. It just wasn't for me. I am one of those kinds of people that actually likes to settle down with one person, get to know them, open up to them, and spending time with them. To some that may seem clingy, and that's fine, but to others that just sounds great, like me, and that's fine too. Because the ultimate goal to some people is to find that one person that they're willing to do anything and everything for.
You complete me.
To spend the rest of their life with that one person. And being single for a time can actually help you find that. I mentioned before that I'm currently in a relationship, and quite happily in fact. For all the time where I was flying solo, it was all moving towards the ultimate goal of being the absolute best version of myself that I could be, so that I could be ready for the one that I didn't want to let go of. It was discovering what I truly wanted out of both life and those around me. Sometimes you need to go out and do things that you wouldn't have at first to know if it's something you want to do. Or even more importantly, if it's something that you don't want. The fact of the matter is that it's going to be different for everybody. For some, being on their own makes them happy, and that's perfectly okay. For others, being in a relationship fulfills them mind, body, and soul, and that is perfectly okay as well. The point in life, in my opinion, is to do whatever is best for you without harming someone else in the process. And whether or not that includes another human being is a choice that only you can make, not anyone else. Despite, actually I'm not sure what the evidence is here, but I do hope I managed to shed some light into the positive aspects of singlehood. Whether it be in the freedom it gives you to quite literally do whatever you want, or the ability to discover whatever it is you may not want, being single is perfectly valid in the grand scheme of things. And when the time comes, if you do find a partner for yourself, let that period of being alone guide you into exactly what you want to be. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the opinions that we have here at Devious Advocacy, and join our community on Discord, Facebook, even just in the comments below. Let your voice be heard. Do you have any cool stories to share? Or maybe you just think that I have nothing useful to say on this week's topic. By all means, let your own views clash with my own, so that I may proceed to prove you wrong.
I drink, and I know things.
But for now, in the case of being single, the defense rests.
How do you live up here? How do you keep your balls from freezing off?
Got to keep moving, that's the secret. Walking's good, fighting's better, fucking's best.
There's not a living woman within 100 miles of here.
We have to make do with what we've got.